So what I'm gonna do now is segue into another illness that you had, which was the breast cancer.
Yeah.
This is the big one.
Yeah.
Yes. So from the time you found out you had MS, so it's been 11 years, you said?
So it's actually been 12 years.
12 years, okay.
That I've had it.
So you get the diagnosis of MS, and then fast forward how many years until you get the breast cancer diagnosis?
6 years later.
6 years later. Okay. How does that come about?
So that I found it myself.
Okay.
But prior to that, on my 40th birthday, one of my colleagues had a benign tumor, so she had surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I was like, oh, maybe I should get a mammogram.
Yeah.
I told my doctor.
Right.
So remember, I was 40 at the time.
Yeah.
He said to me, you don't need to do a mammogram. You don't have any family history. The average age is, I don't know, 53 or 55 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the average age is post-menopause.
Okay.
And I was 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I regretted that later because a year and a half later was when I myself found a lump.
Wow.
And
that you're thinking that if you had it previous, you would have seen something.
Yeah, because it's a mammogram. Even if it's tiny, like whatever, they'll
detect something. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you get that diagnosis.
Yeah.
And that hits you like a ton of bricks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Because it wasn't stage 1. Because by the time I found it, the tumor was, I think, 3 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty big.
Okay.
And then it had spread to my lymph nodes.
Oh.
So then it's late stage 2, early stage 3. So that's the scarier part. So it's advanced.
Yes.
So the surgeon at the breast center at St. Mike's, he was actually really great as well. He expedited everything.
Good.
Because then they're testing everything.
And you're 40.
Well, once it gets to your lymph
so I was
nodes
42
right?
at this
42.
point.
Okay.
Yeah. So by the time I actually found it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had all of my tests done within a week, which is not the norm.
Yeah.
He actually walked over to the MRI department and said, no, she needs to have this done today.
Good.
So he was amazing.
Wow.
And I'm just, again, like really grateful for that.
Sorry, I have to ask. Did he know your mom?
You would think. You would think he might.
I'm just making sure.
No.
Right, yeah.
I might need to know her mom.
No, they just know her from the MS
actually
situation.
didn't.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're not messing with her. You don't want to mess with Naqia.
I think he just kind of saw this young, because everyone at the hospital thought I was a young girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm 42. So, that part was good.
Yeah,
but
right.
But it's because the average age is so much older that you are younger than most people in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he knew that it had advanced.
Spread,
Yeah.
So you want to do everything as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
He actually called me himself and told me that my lungs were fine.
Okay, good.
So they did a lung X-ray. They did a full body scan for your bones. They did whatever to check everything.
Yeah. To make sure it's like it's not Mets or
right,
right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it wasn't.
Good.
Thank God.
And Mets to be metastatic means it's just spread.
It's spread.
Yeah.
So you would be stage 4 at that point.
Yeah.
And the thing is, between stage 3 and stage
2,
4, it's the survival rate it significantly drops.
Yeah.
So then I got the diagnosis.
Yeah.
I was kind of in shock.
Yeah, of course.
You're just trying to process everything. And then they referred me to the oncologist.
Okay.
When I went to the oncologist, so my mom didn't come with me that day. My sister-in-law and my brother came. And she says to me, because I had gotten all my results back already, we can start chemo tomorrow.
Wow.
I was a little unprepared for that because I was still trying to process everything.
Yes.
The other thing was, I asked about having kids and whatever. Now I was already 42, but I mean,
fair,
still possible.
Yeah.
she said, well, we can freeze your eggs, but then you have to wait like a whole month and whatever for that cycle, right? So I was like, okay, well, no.
Yeah.
That was like a no-brainer.
You need to start chemo. Yeah.
So I did start the next day, even though I was not prepared because it was all happening too quickly.
But that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with in such a short period of time. Like,
I mean, it was great that it was all so quick. But for you to process, it's like overload.
Yeah.
So I didn't let my mom come to the chemo treatment with me. So both of my brothers and my sister-in-law were there. My sister-in-law was 8 months pregnant and actually finished. So she's also a doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. Yes.
Seeing a theme here.
I know, right?
And I did, like I said,
we need to really stay close to this one. I'm thinking, We ever get
I need
sick.
an MRI right now. Like my back.
I just want to say that I am just so grateful that first of all you're okay, and then second of all that we can sit and we can laugh about it.
Yes. You know,
you can laugh now. You can laugh now. Yes,
now because I mean going through was an ordeal. For sure.
I just don't want anyone to think that we're making light of this situation.
No. It's just it's 6 years later. So that was 6 years ago that I was diagnosed, August of 2013.
Right.
So now it's like I'm more relaxed. Yes. I can talk about it without. I mean, I can get emotional depending on what I'm saying.
Right.
But it's not like before.
Okay, good.
Good. Where it was really difficult to even talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, all of the doctors and everyone in my family, it didn't matter before that they were doctors.
Yes.
It was actually kind of annoying for me because it was like, okay, why is everybody a doctor? And then they kind of look at you like, why are you not a doctor?
Right.
But it was really, really helpful.
Oh, for sure.
I'm getting that impression.
Yeah.
So my first chemo cycle was terrifying because I looked up stuff on the internet.
Which you
the internet is not your friend at that time.
Which you shouldn't do.
No. Wow. So I was probably more anxious than I should have been.
Yes.
And not to say that it's not horrible.
Yeah.
It is, but I mean, I just had all of these fears.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I didn't know what to expect.
Yes.
So I actually had an allergic reaction initially when they gave me the drug. And so then they had to give me Benadryl.
Okay.
So then I was just sleepy.
Right.
Because you're there for hours.
Yes.
You're at the hospital the whole day. Because you're there.
For the treatment, yes.
Because you go in the morning.
Yep.
And then they have to do your blood work.
Okay.
And then you see the nurse. They check, just different things. Your weight, just ask you how you're doing. They look at your blood test results.
Yes.
And then once all of that is okay, because if you have a cold or anything that's affecting your immune system, you can't do your chemo treatment because it compromises your immune system.
That's right.
Wow, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So then you do all of that, which can take like 2 hours.
Right.
Then you go to the other room and you're sitting in the chair and you get your IV.
Yeah.
And then you're there for like 3 hours as well.
Wow.
So because of the Benadryl, I kind of like
pumped out.
Knocked out.
But both of my brothers, my sister-in-law, they were really great.
Good. The support.
It was
so
important. Really, it was just having them there.
Yeah.
And then, so because I was a little out of it with the Benadryl, my brother got me some food. My sister-in-law, because she knew where all the warm blankets were, because she just happened to be doing her residency at that hospital.
Of course. I'm loving this.
And talking about it, I'm seeing it a little differently than I did at that time.
Yeah.
At that time, you're just like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going through
I'm
it, right?
sleepy.
That's right.
I don't know what's happening. What's going to happen tomorrow?
Right. So I hope after this you go and you make some phone calls and thank everybody. You just had a moment.
I did thank them, but I may thank them again.
There you go.
Christmas
and
gift.
So Naqia, I want to ask for the people out there, obviously who don't have these resources.
Right.
So what would you suggest they do? And maybe not even as much family support. Period. How do they get through this?
That's tough. I would say to find support groups if you can.
Okay.
Because they will have information for you. Because after my treatment, I did go to a lot of information sessions just because there's still more information that I don't have, that I don't know.
Yeah.
But prior to, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's also overload. Like I couldn't process all of the information they were telling me.
Right.
It's gotta be a
So,
lot.
you know, like let's say 3 days later, I think of something. At least I had someone I could call
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ask. Even though no one was an oncologist, they still are more familiar
They're in the medical
with things,
profession.
right?
Yes.
Of course.
And they could also find somebody who could
Right.
answer the question.
But,
Quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, quickly.
Quickly.
It's true. It's
But
so
for
true.
someone who doesn't have that, like I can't imagine. It would have made my whole experience 100 times harder.
Yes. So support groups. That's really just you get online on Facebook. I'm sure there's a lot
and
of different
you
groups.
can ask the hospital,
Hospital,
as well.
okay.
They will
Yeah.
assign you. I mean, at St. Mike's, they assigned me a patient navigator.
Nice. Okay.
So you can call that person to I don't know, ask them any questions,
Okay,
to
good.
tell them
That's
whatever.
good.
So it's
that's very
it's
good. I didn't know
helpful.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
That
there's
existed.
just so much you're doing and dealing with, right? So then
Yes.
there's that one person that you can go to.
Okay. And work. Obviously, you were working up to this point.
Yes.
So then now you're going to chemo the next day. How does
So my boss was really great.
Awesome.
I the day I told him that I think I have breast cancer, he told me to just go home.
Okay.
So after that, I just took my stuff. I was home because I knew that it was most likely, even though I didn't have the
Wow.
official
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
diagnosis.
yeah.
And then the rest of my team had to do my work until they hired someone to replace me.
Right.
So he was good. With all
And
of
you
that.
were off altogether. How long?
2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that affects you too in different ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So
Of
you've
course.
gone through how many rounds of chemo?
So I went through 6 rounds, which
Okay.
is sort of the normal protocol, but it was aggressive.
Okay.
At one point, the oncologist even said, "Do you want me to lower the dosage?" And I was like, "No, I don't care if I feel like I'm dying," because I felt fine
Okay.
physically prior to starting treatment,
Okay.
but the chemo made me feel like I was dying.
Really?
Yeah, because there's
So
so
it makes
many
you really feel weak, right?
weak, nausea. So I was throwing up,
Wow.
and it's cumulative. So with each cycle, the side effects get worse.
Worse.
Wow.
So, at first I was like, okay, I'm tired, but I can still go shopping. Like my cousin came to visit and, she wanted to like just get me out of the house. But by the end, I was just like lying in bed, watching TV, reading. I didn't have the energy to even go anywhere.
Wow.
But so I was going to talk about just my hair falling out.
Okay. Yes.
Because I think that's a big thing,
Especially for women. Yes.
That happened, I'd say 2 weeks after.
Into chemo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was expecting it.
Okay.
So,
And it
that
wasn't all
was-
at once, of course. It's
Of course, gradually.
right.
Yeah.
It starts to come out in big clumps, though.
Okay.
So what I did was I just went to my hairstylist and had him shave my head.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the thing was, I've always been comfortable with short hair. Like I've had long hair
for
before.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I tend to grow it, then I cut it off. So having short hair and even shaving my head didn't actually bother me.
Wow.
It was a little emotional when I got there and he was about to shave, because then you're thinking about why you're doing it.
Yeah.
But I know for a lot of women, just other women that I've spoken to, that was really
Traumatic.
difficult.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of women, their hair is
Hair is their beauty. Hair is their
Yeah.
beauty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Yeah.
So, like I said, for me, I was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I have a different look now.
Right.
So
Good
that
for
part
you.
didn't bother me
It's an
so much.
awesome
And I'm
attitude.
glad
Yeah,
it
for sure.
didn't,
Yeah.
because that would have just added one more thing.
Stress. Yeah.
But the other thing you don't realize is that it's not just the hair on your head.
Oh, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. So,
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I didn't have to like wax
Right.
or do anything for like 6 months.
Wow.
Although I
Okay.
literally, like I have, little
Yeah.
hair. I had no hair on my legs.
Nothing.
Like no hair at all.
Okay.
But then my eyelashes, and my eyebrows,
Yeah.
those
Literally
eventually, so
Everything.
they didn't fall out as
Right,
quickly, but by my third cycle or fourth cycle, I lost my eyelashes. So that was
didn't know that
actually
happened.
I didn't even know you could
Horrible.
lose all your
Yeah,
eyelashes.
I didn't know
because
that
I
happened.
used
I know
to
they
have
shed, but I
really long eyelashes.
Yeah.
They did not grow. So I'm wearing lots of mascara and whatever,
Yeah.
but my eyelashes were longer
Yeah.
than this, and they didn't grow back the same. That still bothers me. But,
Interesting.
you know, you try to look at the
The
bigger
bigger
picture.
picture. Definitely the big picture for
I
sure.
can
Yes.
deal with the eyelashes.
Yes.
I still have eyelashes. They grew back.
Right.
But you don't realize that because you only visually see people
That's
losing
right.
their hair.
Yes. Yes.
But it's because what the chemo is doing is killing any cells that reproduce quickly,
Okay.
Mm.
which is
The
why
hair
your
follicles.
hair,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And so to get a little bit more personal, your breasts.
Yes.
So what process did you go through?
So I had to have a full mastectomy,
Okay.
but of my left breast, which is where the tumor was.
Got it.
So initially, I was like, no, I want a bilateral mastectomy. And my surgeon told me to, you know, think about it. He said, you know, you can always do it later.
And that's because you wanted them to be, if you're going to get rid of one, get rid of both, and then build from there.
But
So
that
that's
wasn't the
balanced.
reason.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay.
fear. It was
Oh.
fear of it coming back.
Ah, okay.
So I wasn't even thinking about the reconstruction at that time.
Okay.
So I'm glad he said that to me. And then I, you know, because I still only did the one breast. But for 2 years, I was still thinking about it because that's something that I know a lot of women actually do.
Yes.
But it's out of fear. So, but now if I had the gene, or let's say somebody in my family had breast cancer, I would have been more likely to do that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
But then you also get tested for the gene. I didn't qualify for the testing because you either have to be under 35 or like younger, or have I think a second degree relative that has breast cancer.
Okay.
I didn't have anybody
Okay.
in my family.
There's a lot of
So
stipulations.
they couldn't justify it then.
No. So you can go and get it done on your own. I didn't know that at the time. Like I mean, at the time I just didn't know where I could go get it done.
Okay.
I do know now. So if anybody wants to get it done, you can go to MedCan.
Okay. There we go.
It's $3,000.
Okay.
Yes, not covered by OHIP.
No.
Not covered by OHIP.
Okay. Do you have a friend that can cover that?
No,
for people?
unfortunately,
Help people out with that?
that didn't work out.
Nobody works at MedCan? No.
Mom doesn't know
I have to
anybody.
ask.
But that's not covered. So at this point, 6 years later, because I only found that out like last year.
Oh,
I was like,
interesting.
well,
Okay.
I don't think I have the gene.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't get it done.
Okay.
But that's the only time I think that I would have gotten both done. But I know a lot of women that they're so afraid of it coming back. And if it comes back, it's not stage 4. It's not metastasizing. It's a new cancer.
It's a brand new thing.
So what they will tell you, your oncologist and your surgeon or whoever you're dealing with, will say having a mastectomy on the other side doesn't doesn't reduce your
chances
risk
of getting
of like survival.
Yes.
Your survival rate is still the same.
Wow.
Because if they catch it early, which they would if it's in your other breast, if you've had breast cancer, you're going to have the treatment. Most likely you'll be fine. So it's not changing anything from that perspective. But I mean, who wants to go through
that again?
So,
But I think the other thing is a lot of women don't know that the risk of it, like the chance of it coming back is quite low. I mean, in the other breast is quite low if you don't have the gene.
Got it.
Okay.
So it would be, let's say, 2% more than your chance of getting breast cancer.
Okay.
So
if you don't have the gene.
Yes.
Okay, but if you have the gene,
tell
me if I'm wrong. But even if you do have a double mastectomy, you can still get it.
You can, but it's decreasing your risk significantly.
Okay.
Because your risk of getting breast cancer when you have the gene, I think, is quite high. Like it's more than 50%.
Right. Right.
So in that case, that's completely different.
Right. And so I want to ask one more question. I know that we're running out of time, but in terms of intimacy, because as a woman, of course, your breasts, how do you wrap your brain around that?
So I think it would take me longer to get to that stage if I was, I'm not dating anybody right now, but if I start dating or when I start dating, I think because I would just have to feel comfortable enough that I can just still be comfortable.
Be yourself, be comfortable. Absolutely. No, I think this is really, really interesting and really informative. And I am so grateful that you're able to talk about it with a smile
Right.
You know, and that you've had a very positive outcome, obviously. You know, going through your experiences. I think, you know, this show is called Life Stripes, and you just got some stripes. I'm just saying, okay? Because
and she's a survivor.
She's total survivor. Yeah, absolutely. Right? And so with that, I mean, alone, bless your heart. My goodness, I know people who could go through a fraction of what you've gone through, and it devastates them. It destroys them. They can't come back from this because they live in fear constantly of it coming back. Right?
Yeah. So just to that, you know, a lot changed in terms of my perspective on life, because you all of a sudden, like, you just see things differently. The one thing that happened right away was, and this to me was the biggest thing, where the day before my diagnosis, the stuff that, I don't know, I was annoyed with or stressing about or worrying about, the day I got diagnosed, I went home and none of it mattered.
Right.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
And you feel
I
like,
believe it.
Of course.
Why was I wasting my time and energy? But until you see it differently, you know, you can't change
Absolutely.
your perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, especially when your life is on the line, you're going to look at things way differently. Your eyes are going to open up. You're going to see things really clear of what the real perspective of your life and your journey should be.
And you realize what's important to you
matters.
and what really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So even other people, when I would have conversations with them, and I don't know, they'd be talking about something that to me was frivolous. You're kind of sitting there thinking, this really doesn't matter. And you're getting yourself all worked up. You're wasting your energy. That energy could go to something that's happy or joyful.
Uplifting. Yes.
We got to stop worrying about the small things.
Literally.
Right?
Yes. Don't worry about the small things. I agree. And with that, I mean, Naqia, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so informative. You know, I have no words for you except congratulations on good health.
Thank you. And thank you for having me here so that I could share.
Yes, absolutely.
And about that MRI, I mean,
he's got some back issues.
We have to see what you could do for me.
I like that. Okay. And for all you men out there, she is single. She knows a lot of people, got a lot of contacts, lots of hookups. Naqia, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us for another episode of Life Stripes with
Kathy and Duke. And don't forget to like and click the alert.